pressure coming from behind, and that is intercepted by the Bears. Nigel Swift with the INT. He is heading down the sideline. One man to beat. Swift heading for the end zone, and he is in for a New York Bears touchdown.
Socrates, he's on the move, and they're going to look for Socrates in the corner. Touchdown!
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon with the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move, a shot, and he scores! Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Sends one on goal, and he scores! And it is a power play goal!
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Smith delivers. And that's hit back toward the mound. Weiss has it in short. He steps on second, and the ball game is over. Massapequa Coast has won the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. Live from the Joseph T. St. Lawrence Sports Complex in Hillburn, New York, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of the Elite Football Alliance. Tonight, the New York Bears host the Cumberland County Cobras in a league crossover matchup as part of the EFA's ongoing partnership with the XEFL. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona, and we anticipate that we are about 30 minutes away from kickoff here at Torn Valley. Nick, last time you and I were here was 6 weeks ago when the Bears took on the New York Legion in the second week of the EFA season. The Bears ended the night 2-0 following a big win over the Legion and remain unbeaten with a perfect 5-0 record entering tonight's game against the Cobras.
And we saw that game for the Bears. They got everything going on both sides of the ball, put up 46 points on the Legion. Their defense was strong throughout the entire night, pitching a shutout to a 46-0 win at that time. As you mentioned, now 5-0 on the season, looking to make it 6-0 tonight.
Since that Week 2 matchup between the Legion and the Bears, we've covered just one EFA game here on PDF. That came back in Week 4 when the Empire State Demon Knights defeated the New York Bandits. Let's get everybody caught up with the latest in the EFA, starting with last week's results.
And we'll look at into Week 7 here, and we saw that the Legion beat the Bandits 12-6. The Cumberland Cobras, who we'll see tonight, beat the Demon Knights 12-8. And the Marlboro Stallions out of the ACFA, Joe, beat Baltimore United 8-0 to end Week 7 last week.
It was an off week for the Bears last weekend, but as you see on your screen, the Cobras were able to knock off the Demon Knights in another league crossover matchup. The win by Cumberland, coupled with a win by the Legion, shook up the EFA standings as the Legion moved in front of the Demon Knights with the victory. Here's a look at the full EFA standings entering this weekend's action.
And you see on your screen the Bears are off to a 5-0 start. The Legion now go to 3-2. The Demon Knights are now 2-2. And the Bandits at the bottom at 0-4. Bears can keep their momentum going. But you mentioned the Legion with that big win now go ahead of the Demon Knights in the standings, which is big considering the impact of how these teams get into the playoffs.
And we have a really big game coming up looming between the Demon Knights and the Legion. We're also going to see the Demon Knights take on the Bears later this year, so some very meaningful matchups coming up down the stretch of the EFA season here on PDF. But before we get a look at the XEFL standings, let's take a look around the league at the other matchups taking place this weekend. Of course, we have the Bears taking on the Cobras here on PDF, but we also have two more big games on the weekend slate. First, the Legion visit the Bandits for a rematch of last weekend's game, which the Legion won 12-6. Next, the Baltimore United face the Philly Venom in another game that will have major implications in the standings. The Bears sit comfortably in first place in the EFA, but this weekend's game presents a huge opportunity for the Legion, who will be looking to create some separation between themselves and the Demon Knights ahead of their meeting with Empire State next weekend.
Yeah, and you really need to control your destiny at the end of the day if you're the Legion going into that game next week with the Demon Knights. If you're able to beat the Bandits once again and go to 4-2 in the season, that's huge looming into next week's matchup with the Demon Knights. So something to look forward to going into this weekend.
We are going to be spending a lot of time at Granny Road Park the rest of the way. If I'm not mistaken, we have 2 more games there. And as I said before, both of those games are set to have major playoff implications moving forward. The Bears do hope that they remain comfortably in first place, and we will see if they can do that. But now we'll get a look at how this weekend can potentially impact the XCFL standings, which hopefully we'll see on your screen shortly. Right now we're having an issue with our XCFL standings graphic, but hopefully we'll get that up before the end of our pregame show. First and foremost, for the Cobras, they need to try and find a way to steal a game on the road from an undefeated Bears team. However, they will also be looking to get some help from Baltimore as they take on the Philly Venom. A win by the United and the Cobras would see Cumberland and Philadelphia end the week with identical records. That being said, if the Venom come away with their 3rd win this weekend, it becomes even more important for the Cobras to keep pace with a victory of their own here tonight.
And you look at the standings right now, the Philly Venom, as you mentioned, are at the top of the standings at 2-1, followed by the Cobras, and then the United at the bottom. But anything could happen when it comes down to playing this game, and you mentioned it, the win by the United and the Cobras would see both Cumberland and Philly with an identical record going into next week. So a lot of implications are on the line this weekend. These teams need to come out and play and have a big time, they have a big time momentum boost and try to get into next week looking to make it to the postseason.
We spoke about it earlier in the season, Nick. The Bears typically regarded as one of the favorites to compete for an EFA championship this year. If the Cobras do eventually work their way into the championship game, this Bears team could be a team they meet later down the line in that crossover championship game. Also, you have the Demon Knights and the Legion right now vying for a spot in that EFA championship along with the Bears. We're not sure how many teams will qualify for the postseason in the EFA. We certainly look forward to seeing that. We do know that the EFA playoffs will kick off in early November with the crossover championship game coming in mid-November. I believe November 18th is the date of that big crossover championship matchup. We certainly look forward to that. But here tonight on PDF, we get our first taste of XCFL and EFA crossover action. Now, Nick, normally this would be the time when I head down to the field and speak with players and coaches. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, we are a bit delayed tonight. The field was completely occupied when we got here, as was the press box, so we didn't get a chance to head downfield and secure conversations with players and coaches ahead of this evening's game. We're also contending with some rain. Right now, the weather's clear, but instead of heading down to the field, we will take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll detail further tonight's matchup between the Bears and the Cobras. Elite Football Alliance and XCFL crossover action coming up next. More from our pregame show when we come back.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500. The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com.
And we are back from the Joseph T. St. Lawrence Sports Complex in Hillburn, New York. Once again, this is Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Bavona for the PDF Sports Network. And Nick, during that last commercial break, we did see that PDF Sports Network is looking for sponsors. So if you're interested in sponsoring the PDF Sports Network or any of our clients, such as the Elite Football Alliance, you can contact us using the information that you saw on your screen during the commercial by phone, or you can contact us at pdfsportsnet@gmail.com. Something else very exciting that recently took place as well, PDF Sports Network is now on Roku. So you can download our app on your Roku device, and you can stream the PDF Sports Network 24/7. Each week we update our catalog, now featuring new episodes of our favorite podcast, You Know I'm Right. You Know I'm Right, now a part of the PDF Sports Network. Our colleague Nick Durst, of course, one of the minds behind the You Know I'm Right podcast, along with Joe Calabrese. They do a great job. They are now on the PDF Sports Network. So you can tune in over on Roku, search PDF Sports Network, download our app, tune into You Know I'm Right, tune into some of our archived games. We also have an on-demand catalog that includes You Know I'm Right, of course, and other games from the Elite Football Alliance on our PDF Sports Network app. We are certainly very excited about that. And one more plug, as the Elite Football Alliance website has undergone a complete redesign. EliteFootballAlliance.com is your home for scheduling, statistics, and much more from the Elite Football Alliance. You can check that out at EliteFootballAlliance.com. But Nick, we anticipate that we are closing in on kickoff. It looks like the Bears were going through the lineup line where each player recites their name and number on camera. That is a procedure that takes place ahead of every EFA game. But we're back here on PDF Sports Network awaiting the start of tonight's game between the Bears and the Cobras. Let's take a look at how these two teams have performed through the first several games of their respective seasons. Starting first with the Bears. We mentioned a couple of Bears games we covered, one early in the season against the Demon Knights, another against the Legion.
Yeah, and you look at your screen, the Bears have just been dominant most of this season. 2 dominant wins to start off the year, 33-6, and then a 46-0 win. They've already seen this Cobra team, Joe, in a 21-0 win. The Cobras will look to bounce back from that loss, get some points on the board in this one, but it's been really tough for any team to get points against this Bears defense. They've been really good all season.
And we're going to talk a bit more about what makes this Bears team so good a bit later in the pregame. We have some video highlights from the last Bears game we covered against the Legion. And there's no doubt that New York has been dominant to start the season. But this Cobras team is facing a pivotal game tonight, as a win would improve them to 2-2, while a loss would drop them to 1-3. They already have a win over an EFA opponent this season as they defeated the Demon Knights. But this Bears team is looking to make it 2-0 against Cumberland on the year.
And Cumberland really could use a good win tonight, really shock a lot of people in the EFA if they were able to hand the Bears their first loss of the season and go to 2-2 on the year. We already mentioned a win for them would put them at a 2-2 record and a potential to be a tie with Philly into next week at a 2-2 record. So a lot at stake for the Cobras tonight.
Big game for Cumberland tonight, and of course they hope to avenge that loss earlier this season against the Bears as well. And we've already seen this Bears team twice this season, as I mentioned before, and both times they picked up convincing wins. Most recently, we saw the Bears win against a Legion team that has since been much improved on their way to winning 3 games. They are now 3-2 on the season. That being said, the Bears were dominant in that victory against the Legion earlier this year, and what they did well against the Legion is what they've done well each of the last 2 seasons. What makes this team so good is that they have playmakers everywhere. On the offense, up front, on the offensive line, up front defensively, as we saw in Week 2, and especially in the secondary, as they had a huge highlight reel pick 6 that we're going to see as part of our highlight package. Here's a look at some of the highlight reel moments from the Bears and their win over the Legion earlier this year. And as you see on your screen, early in the game, the Legion tried to run the ball, but that defensive front, including Gerard Revenge, Damon Davis, Deshaun Frazier, blowing up that play.
And then you see right here a good completion to Tyler Petty on 4th down to keep the drive going for the Bears, and that would lead to a Romero touchdown, getting the Bears on the board first with that huge score.
Romero helping the Bears strike first against his former team. Here you'll see another Bear sack, interior pressure from Davis, attempting to roll out David Salvatore. He's sacked by Revenge.
And then you see right here on the fade route to Tyler Williams, a goal-to-goal line play for the Bears to get another touchdown on the board.
That fade route, a route the Bears certainly love on the offensive side. As you'll see here, pressure forcing DeSalvatore into an interception. Kenneth Charter with the pick. He's eventually taken down. Tried to fight for some extra yards. We'll see the Bears turn an INT into a touchdown a bit later.
And then you see right here from Rodriguez a long completion as he goes out to his left, goes on the run and gets it right to Travis Dutka. A great ball from Rodriguez getting it to his tight end. And then you'll see on this next play, another favorite, as you mentioned, they love that goal line play. It works again as they get a touchdown pass to Tyler Petty, who had a monster game for the Bears against the Legion.
The Legion tried to run the ball a bit in that game, found nothing. Deshaun Frazier blows up another run for the Legion, and here's yet another long completion by the Bears.
And another great ball by Rodriguez, and he gets it to Tyler Williams. And that was a play where we thought it was originally called a touchdown, but got ruled down at the 2-yard line.
Well, the Bears don't always get to the quarterback, but even if they don't get there, they have the ability to knock passes down. Revenge swats that ball away. And then again here, you'll see a big hit. This time, Michael Lopez from the linebacker spot. Everyone getting involved for the Bears defensively. And Nick, this is the highlight reel play I referenced before. Isaiah Berrios-Smith, interception. He's about to go down. Somehow is able to get that ball away to Quatrell Huffin. Huffin takes it a long way from his own 20-yard line, it appeared. I believe he laterals this ball somewhere around the Legion 35 or 40-yard line. There you see he flips it away. Uriah Clark will finish the pick six. 2 laterals on that return for the Bears. They come away with a touchdown. Watching this back, I'm still in disbelief.
It's really, truly unbelievable how they got that to go.
Berrios-Smith also had a second interception a bit later in the game. This Bears defense did not let up.
And their offense also did not let up, Joe. As you see right here, Ralston Romero getting his second touchdown of the game against his former team to give them a big-time win, keep the momentum going, and they have really looked good on both sides of the ball this season.
Romero was exceptional on the ground in that game. The passing attack got the job done. The Bears defense, perhaps even better than that, pitching a shutout against the New York Legion. A lot to like from the Bears in that win over the Legion. However, the Bears were very complimentary of the Legion following their second meeting. The Legion were credited by Bears defensive coordinator as having improved a great deal since the first week of the season. Unfortunately, I don't have the list of all the coaches in front of me. I'd love to credit who it was that made that statement, but the Legion lost the second meeting to the Bears by a score of 26-0. But based on what we were told about that game, I believe they only allowed 1 touchdown on defense. That's certainly a big improvement from what we saw earlier in the season when the Legion met the Bears in Week 2. So we'll get a chance to see the Legion next week. In just a few moments, we get a chance to see this Bears team for a second time this year. We get our third look at New York this season as they host the Cumberland County Cobras. Kickoff coming up next after one final short break right here on the PDF Sports Network.
When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
And we are back here on the PDF Sports Network. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Nick Bavona. And Nick, if I'm not mistaken, the Bears are going to receive the opening kickoff in this one. New York wearing their white uniforms tonight. I'm not sure we've ever seen the Bears sporting these all-white uniforms. I have to say, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I think it's the way that the Cobras have these yellow jerseys with the purple shoulder pads. So the Bears giving out a new look tonight, and I don't disagree with you at all. I do like the white jerseys.
And it's always something to note how many players travel for these crossover games, and it looks like the sideline for the Cobras filled with quite a few bodies. Now, this Bears team, in terms of numbers, absolutely huge. We've noted that just about every time we've covered them. Plenty of bodies available for the Bears, but the Cobras traveled very well. They are positioned along the near sideline, as you mentioned. They are wearing what is typically a uniform choice of the Bears. Yellow uniforms. They will be in yellow tonight as they visit the New York Bears in our first XCFL EFA crossover matchup of the season here on the PDF Sports Network. The Bears are getting ready to send it away. It looks like Calvin Webb right now is the one lined up over the ball, set to kick off. Well, I should say, number 5 on the other side would be Tamar Jackson. Already, I looked over at those yellow uniforms and I saw the Bears, Nick, but that is Cumberland kicking off. Tamar Jackson will send it away for them. He wears number 5 for Cumberland. The Bears set to receive. Their kicker is typically number 43, linebacker Justin Hunter. That's who we expect to be the kickoff specialist tonight. He has been for each of the first 2 Bears games that we've covered here on PDF.
And a kind of a different contrast of what we did the last time, Joe, where the last game that we called, it was a very sunny first quarter. It was no rain in the area whatsoever, but today it was rain all day. It's a night game now. The lights are on here at the field. Kind of feels like a Friday Night Lights type of feeling, even though it's Saturday.
This certainly beats the situation we had up here in the press box last time. I could not see for the first 10 minutes of the game. Sunlight shining straight into the window, and there was no way that we could make out any numbers, any jersey names, anything. It was a rough go of it early as we've been, what I presumed was moments away from kickoff for the last 3 minutes, and now it looks like coaches are making their way from one sideline to the other, perhaps some chain gang personnel, not sure. But we do have bodies on the field that are not in pads right now, so we still await the start of this game between the Bears and the Cobras. As we mentioned before, New York could be closing in on a regular season title. They're 5-0. They still have a 2-game lead over the Legion. However, they have beaten the Legion twice this year, so in terms of tiebreakers, they look to be in a pretty good spot following their 2 wins over the Legion. The Demon Knights hope to get into that conversation for a regular season title as well. They will almost certainly have to beat the Bears when they meet New York later this season. They might need some help, and if you're on that Empire State team or a fan of the Demon Knights, you're hoping the Cobras can come in to Torn Valley and pull off the upset tonight.
Yeah, and really for the Cobras, we talked about the impact of the game also for them. So they really cannot overlook this game, but there's going to be a lot of people watching and seeing the impact of what this game could potentially bring down to it. So a lot at stake here.
Well, it looks like there's a cart with a Gatorade cooler on it now making its way across the field. So we are still waiting for the opening kickoff. Both teams have been in position now for the last 3 to 5 minutes, and the official is back behind the play, and I believe the whistle has just blown as Jackson will get ready to send it away. He still has his eye on that cart. He is waiting for the field to be clear of any game day personnel, but we are underway from Hillburn, New York at the Joseph T. St. Lawrence Sports Complex. On the return for the Bears, Tyler Williams looking to work it toward the far sideline, and he stumbles out just shy of the 40-yard line. So good starting field position for the Bears on their opening drive.
And we saw Tyler Williams in that game against the Legion, had some big-time catches in the red zone for the Bears. Nice return, getting it just short of the 40-yard line. he'll look to make a big impact in this game now on the offensive side, as we'll see this Bears offense for the first time tonight.
Well, I'm not sure what the answer to this question is, Nick, so I'll pose it to you. What's been tougher, stopping this Bears offense or scoring on this Bears defense so far this year in the 2 games we've covered?
It's been really tough. I would say the defense more, because we saw against the Legion. The Legion early on in that game got some stops and were able to, make the Bears have to think about readjusting their playbook. But as the game went on, the Bears were able to readjust and take over that game. The defense has been so tough for all these teams realistically to get down and score some points. We saw the Legion have a chance at their first time out. We're not able to do it.
Juan Rodriguez in the shotgun. 4 receivers wide on the first snap of the game. He looks to throw, fires right. Pass complete short. Catch made by Moquez Dickens. And he is pushed out of bounds just shy of midfield. We'll see if that is enough for a first down. It is awfully close.
Well, the advantage that we have, Joe, is that the chains are on this side of the field for us, so we will be able to see if it is a first down or not. I believe they're going to call it second and about 1 yard to go.
Now, you and I might have to creep a bit closer to the window as we move forward in this game. When the action gets down near that left end zone, we might have a bit of a tough angle, but we'll find the workaround as once again the Bears come out in the shotgun, spread set with 4 receivers wide. Rodriguez will hand off, big hole on the left side, and the Cobras do rally to make the tackle as Trey Myers goes down across midfield. That's enough for a Bears first down.
And we saw the last time the Bears played, Joe, they used a lot of running backs in that game. They would cycle out every other running back here, whether it be Myers, who we saw in that last carry, or Romero, who we saw in that game get 2 touchdowns. So that's another good thing about this Bears team. We talked about their depth. That brings a lot of tough plays for this defense, having to try to figure out who's cycling in, who's cycling out. So that's something for the Cobras have to look out for.
That's a great point you make, Nick. We saw some Romero highlights from that Week 2 game. They used a lot of running backs in Week 1. Romero did get the bulk of the carries in Week 2 against his former team, the New York Legion. Once again, Rodriguez in the shotgun. He will hand off for a second consecutive play, and that doesn't go far. Short gain of about maybe 2 for Myers on that carry.
And if you're Cumberland, you got to make sure you can stop this run, but they have to be worried about the pass. If the Bears are able to get a good running start to this game, Joe, they're going to be able to do a lot of play action as this game goes on.
And something that we've seen from the Bears quite often early in games, they found themselves in 4th down situations. We highlighted one of those in the pregame. They converted, and that really set the stage for what they did offensively from that point forward against the Legion. Cobras with a lot of bodies in the box right now. Looks like 8 or 9 around the line of scrimmage, and the Bears do hand it off. Myers able to wiggle his way through a tight hole, and he's about 3 yards short of a first down as he's tackled at the Cumberland 40.
Another good strong run from Myers to the right side now of the field as he now makes it about, as you said, 3rd and about 3. First down marker just looks about the 36-yard line, so could be another running opportunity here for New York.
And you have to wonder if perhaps the Cobras saw something on that play that tipped them off to the run. They really stacked the box on that play. They had 8 or 9 bodies within maybe 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. And if that was something they picked up, they picked it up correctly, as that was a handoff on that play. And credit to the running back there to find his way through a very tight hole and pick up good yardage. 3rd and about 3. Once again, shotgun set for the Bears. 2 receivers wide, and they will hand off for a 3rd straight play. And that's going to be enough for a first down. Romero was tackled at the 35-yard line.
And you see right there, they cycle in Romero to get them that 3rd down play. He could be the 3rd down running back on this team, and that's why they brought him in on that play. Gets on the first down at the 35-yard line. So very good start to this drive for New York.
We saw a lot of Trey Myers, a lot of Ralston Romero in Week 1. We saw primarily Romero in Week 2. As once again, the Bears will come out in a shotgun set, this time 4 receivers wide. Rodriguez takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and throws a bubble screen left. Tackle is missed. But that play was read very well by Kenzie Williams. And, Nick, watching the Bears these last 2 seasons, I've seen that bubble screen as a play they really like. And as you mentioned, they threw that pass off the play action.
Yeah, they do an RPO bubble right there on that screen. And credit to the Cobras for not getting fully fooled by it, only giving up 4 yards on the play to now make it about 2nd and 6.
Once again, 4 wide, spread shotgun set for the Bears. Rodriguez will look to throw. I thought the Cobras may have jumped. They have pressure on Rodriguez, who throws on the run, and unable to make the diving catch was a Bears receiver who fully extended toward that football. I don't believe that Mokez Dickens was the intended target on that play, but he gave a great effort to attempt that catch diving.
I think there was also some confusion. You mentioned that it looked like the Cobras did jump offside on that play, which could have given the Bears a free play right there, but no whistle nonetheless. And now it's 3rd down and 7 coming up for New York.
Well, I said it before, Nick. The Bears have found themselves in quite a few 4th down situations early in games. They've typically been able to capitalize, and right now they face a 3rd and long. This Cobras defense with a chance to force a 4th down snap if they can come up with a stop here on 3rd. Once again, a spread shotgun set for New York. Rodriguez will move Myers to his left in the offensive backfield. He consults the wristband ahead of this 3rd and 7 snap. And he will look to throw. Interior pressure coming. Rodriguez flushed out, throws to Dickens over the middle, and he makes the catch as he is tackled by Ryan Shelton. That completion is good for a Bears 1st down.
And we've seen a lot. We saw in the highlights show Rodriguez making plays after getting out of the pocket, scrambling on the run. He finds a wide open receiver in the middle of the field, using that ability to scramble and get the Bears another 1st down.
I'll sound the siren in the stands, Nick, as I believe that signals a New York Bears 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Bears. Ball spotted at the Cumberland 24-yard line. A slow, methodical drive for this Bears offense to open up this game. 2 receivers wide to the left. Once again, Rodriguez in the shotgun. They have not departed from the shotgun yet on this opening drive. And Rodriguez will look to throw. He's looking left and throws over the middle. He's nearly intercepted. Huge opportunity for a pick for this Cobras defense. Tough to get a number on the player who got his hands on it as the jersey is tucked into the uniform. That might be number 1, Rory Bell.
And Rory Bell read the route perfectly. It looked like Rodriguez, he went through his 1st and 2nd progression, saw a receiver up the middle of the field, but he threw it right to Bell. It looked like on that play. He had a great opportunity if he had waited another 2nd or 2 to find that open wide receiver, but a huge break nonetheless for the Bears, as that one almost was an interception for the Cobras.
Well, sometimes that's the risk you run when you're looking left and then quickly try and turn your head and throw to the right side of the field. And Rodriguez was looking downfield to his left, came back and threw over the middle, but Bell read it very nicely as Rodriguez will throw again here on 2nd down. That pass complete, but a big hit along the far sideline, and I think that was Bell again involved in that play as he put a shot on Dickens following that catch.
That was a quick throw from Rodriguez on that play. A little bit of a bobble on the reception, but he still was able to bring it down for about a 4-yard pickup. Now make it 3rd, and they'll say about 7, so 3 yards on the play coming up. We'll see what the Bears can do here on 3rd down.
2nd, 3rd down, and 7 of this drive. The last 3rd and 7 resulted in a Bears completion for a 1st down. And they will look to convert yet again here on 3rd. Now, the Bears do have a kicker. Justin Hunter, certainly a capable kicker, as we've seen this year. Not sure if a field goal is an option from the 20-yard line. That's where New York will snap it. Shotgun set once again for the Bears. Looks like Rodriguez may have changed the play.
Cobras are showing blitz, it looks like. The last couple of fake snaps from Rodriguez.
Given their foot action, it looks like they're bluffing, and they do. They drop back into coverage. That ball is tipped, and it falls incomplete. And, Nick, you could see as Rodriguez waited a bit longer to snap that ball, those Cobras who were showing blitz were on their heels a bit, getting ready to drop back in coverage. You have to wonder if Rodriguez may have been fooled there. He had more time to get that ball out.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting that. He was definitely expecting the blitz, though, what we originally thought. And a good job by that Cobras defense to bluff him on that play. And now really brings an interesting choice here, Joe, with 4th down and 7 from the 21-yard line. I would have to think they're going to go for it here on this side of the field. Worst case scenario, you don't get it. You pin the Cobras at the 21-yard line. So we'll see what the Bears call up on here.
Well, you have to think that, at least for me personally, a 37-yard kick or so would be the longest we've ever seen attempted here on PDF. And the Bears do call timeout ahead of 4th down and 7. So, Nick, if you're the play caller here, got to put you on the spot a bit. What are you looking to do here on 4th down? We know they want to get the first, but how do you go about that?
I think you have to look at something maybe towards the sidelines, maybe type of a play right there, an out route maybe to get you that first down. Look where you are at the side of the field. The first down marker is at about the 14-yard line, so you need to try to get at least 10 yards on this route, maybe get something there. Maybe there's a possibility also that they have the running back on maybe a slot out route or maybe a wheel route to try to get him involved in the passing game. But there's a possibility the Cobras could maybe blitz on this play, try to force some pressure on Rodriguez, make him throw an errant throw. There's twice on this drive he's almost thrown an interception, so there's a great chance for both of these sides in a big pivotal spot early on in this game.
And to your point, Nick, about looking to attack the sidelines, Rodriguez has proven to be a very capable passer outside the numbers. He can spread the ball around to just about anywhere on the field. He gets all of his weapons involved on offense, and we will see here what he looks to do on 4th down. The Bears need 7. The Cobras hoping to get off the field and force a turnover on downs.
And now they're going to have 4th and 2, Joe. The Cobras jumped.
And I thought they jumped earlier on the drive, and it looked like they had timed it pretty well. They certainly were off, but they were very close to timing that snap and getting a good jump on the quarterback. However, they take a chance. It doesn't pay off. Not sure how much I like that, but it's now 4th and 2, and the playbook really opens up here.
Now you could be able to run the football. I would not be surprised maybe if you see a read option on this play right here. Try to fool them with the running back. And Rodriguez, we know he's certainly capable of scrambling out of the pocket and making plays with his legs. He could certainly do so here on a read option type of play.
And for all the times that we've seen Bears quarterback Juan Rodriguez scramble out of the pocket and throw the ball, we've hardly seen him cross the line of scrimmage and run the ball. It'll be very interesting to see if they're willing to go to a read option in a spot like this. We'll see how many players the Cobras stack in the box. As Rodriguez lines up under center, he will try and sneak it. He stood up, and barring a very good spot, Nick, I'm not sure they got it.
Right now, the spot is at the 14s. That was where the first down marker is. They might have to bring the chains out to measure it to see if it is a first down for New York.
This is going to be so close, Nick. And Rodriguez initially was stood up, and you have to believe that once he got under center, the Cobras immediately were alerted to the possibility of a quarterback sneak.
And I believe there hasn't been a signal yet from the officials on if it's a first down or not. Chains have not moved either. So I'm waiting to see what they do here. There doesn't look like there's going to be a measurement either. So maybe they are giving New York a first down, which would be huge for them. And they are moving the chains, Joe. So that is a first down for the Bears. So a tough break for the Cobras. It looked like they got the stop on 4th down. Just were not able to do it. Definitely by a couple of inches, New York got that one.
I think that's a good job by the officials to let that play continue, but we've seen it before where a quarterback gets stood up like that, and they blow that dead for forward progress being stopped. And I think we were awfully close to that point on that play. The Bears will look to throw, fade up the sideline, and that's well over the intended target. Tyler Williams, and we've said it already, Nick, the Bears love that fade. Not only restricted to the goal line, but once they're in the red zone, that play call is on the table.
Anytime you have that one-on-one coverage, the Bears will look to try to throw that fade route, and they did it right there. Unfortunately, just a little bit of a miscommunication between Williams and Rodriguez on the throw now leads to 2nd and 10 at the 14-yard line.
2nd and long for this Bears offense here as they look to pick up an early score. And Nick, you have to think this first quarter might be in the dwindling minutes.
It has been a very long drive.
Gone. It has been a very long opening drive for this Bears offense. And I think the longer this drive goes, the more important it becomes that they come away with points. Rodriguez will look to throw on 2nd down. Wide receiver screen is complete, but a good tackle on that play to prevent any gain. I believe that was Bell once again, and the Cobras clearly have this Bears offense well scouted. They are all over those screen passes, haven't allowed much on the screen attempts.
And Bell has been a menace so far in this game when it comes to tackling. Another great play by him right there on another screen play. Only gets about a gain of 1 on the play. So it's still 3rd and long coming up for the Bears. They need to get to at least the 4-yard line to continue the drive and make it 1st and goal.
3rd down and 9, and you have to wonder if the Bears don't get this, Nick, is a field goal potentially on the table in this spot from the 13. Shotgun set once again. Rodriguez will look to throw right. Fade route up the sideline is overthrown. And once again, the Bears will be faced with a 4th down. I believe Tyler Petty was the intended target on that throw.
And this is an interesting choice. You brought it up on do they go for it or do they kick the field goal. It's such a long drive for the Bears. You have to know they don't want to end a long drive like this and only get 3 points out of it. It looks like they are going to go for it, Joe.
Well, again, the availability of kickers is always subject to change, but we have seen the Bears kick on extra points. Bit embarrassed to admit it, but I'm not exactly sure where the extra points are attempted from here in the EFA. 4th down and 9. Second 4th down of the drive for New York. They will look to throw for the first. Rodriguez is looking right. He throws that way, and once again, he overshoots his intended target, and with that, the Bears will turn it over on downs.
Now, that's unfortunate for Rodriguez on that play. You see right there, he only makes one read on the play, and that's tough because he had an out route, and it might have gotten him the first down on the play, or at least maybe 2 yards shy, so he would have had an opportunity maybe to get the first, but Rodriguez went into the end zone, overthrown, incomplete. And, Joe, a long drive for the Bears, but how about this Cobras defense with a great stop despite the long drive, holding the Bears with no points, and now they give their offense a chance to score first.
And the Bears did march down the field into the red zone, Nick, but to your point, this Cobras defense did not make it easy at any point during that opening drive for New York. They nearly had an interception. Who knows what that could have turned into if Bell was able to hold on to that football, but he was heavily involved defensively on that drive, and I think it's fair to say he more than made up for it, especially with that tackle on 3rd down to set up 4th. And his defense gets off the field, which will send the Cobras offense out there. Our first look at this Cumberland offense this season here on PDF. I'm not sure if we see the Cobras again or any of the XCFL teams here on PDF the rest of the way, but we were certainly excited for this crossover matchup, and early on, it looks like it could be a close one.
Yeah, now we'll have to see how this Cobra offense will do in this first drive of the game. Obviously held us no points in the last meeting with the Bears just a few weeks ago, so now they would like to make up for that, get a nice opening drive here for them, and get on the board first.
Well, I said it already, Nick, but as long as that drive went, it became vital for the Bears to come away with points. The good news is the Cobras are pinned back deep in their own territory as they will get started from right around their own, I believe, 13 or 14-yard line. You're right, Nick. 13-yard line officially. Shotgun look on 1st down. And it's a handoff out of the gun. And a nice gain on 1st down as 3 Bears rally to make that tackle. A big hit on the back at the end of that play. Now, it's a bit tough to get numbers down at that end of the field from up here, but I believe that was Marshall Crump Sr. on the carry, number 8 for Cumberland, as the Bears get a bit closer to our end of the field, or I should say both teams get closer, the Cobras specifically right now on offense. But as they get a bit closer, picking up those numbers will be a bit easier.
And for the Cobras, they're going to try to run the ball a little bit on this opening start to the drive. Just try to get out of your own, red zone at this current spot at the field. But we'll see what quarterback, I believe it's Ryan Shelton, will do here on 2nd down.
What number do you see at quarterback, Nick?
I
thought it was a 13. It's 17?
I thought it was 17.
Very hard to tell from up here. Those numbers are a bit thin. But Cumberland will look to throw, and they had an open receiver on the out route. That pass just a bit off the mark. The intended target was Corey Purnell, and that will set up a 3rd down at 6.
And I'm being confirmed that it is number 17, so it is Ryan Shelton at quarterback for Cumberland. And now he has a 3rd down coming up here. So for the Bears, a great opportunity after a long drive offensively to get a quick 3-and-out right here and get their offense the ball quickly.
We do have a roster for Cumberland. That roster is currently without positions, so that's a development we will have to contend with the rest of the night. But again, as the Cobras offense gets a bit closer to our end of the field, we will have a better read on those numbers. 3rd down and 6. Spread shotgun set once again for the Cobras. We've seen plenty of that early in this game, as looks like we had some early movement, and that's lofted into the secondary where it's intercepted. And the Bears will run this back. There is blocking ahead, and that's a big play to push the intercepting player down by Bryson Bartley on the pick. It was Mike Rodriguez. I thought that play was going to be blown dead for a false start.
Now, there was flags thrown at the end of the play. I don't know if that has to do with the neutral zone infraction, but it was very late.
And it is a penalty on the Cobras. Now, if that was a false start, that play should have been blown dead. The Bears are waving their defense off of the field as the officials confer. I was a bit shocked when Shelton just threw that ball up into the secondary. That was a freebie for Rodriguez.
And he had a wide open tight end, too. He overthrew the tight end on that throw. But a very weird sequence with that interception. And I'm curious to see what the refs will do here now, because you're right, Joe. On a false start, you have to blow the play dead before it can even start. And they didn't do it. They blew the play dead after the interception was turned down.
We'll get a second look at it on replay and see if we catch the beginning of the play where we thought perhaps the play should have been blown dead. The players continue to play on, and if you don't hear a whistle, you have to be a bit more careful with the football. Now, perhaps if your quarterback thinks he has a free play, that's a chance you can take. Though I didn't see any indication they had a free play. However, it looks like the Cobras offense isn't going anywhere right now. Bears head coach Jason Walker's trying to figure out what's going on. And I think they just ruled offsetting penalties.
I think they did.
I'm not sure.
But the Bears are celebrating. I think their interception is going to count.
So there was an interception on the Bears at the end of that play.
The flags were thrown at the end of the play.
Were.
So there was no free play for the Cobras. They have to be livid because there definitely was movement, Joe, before the play started. And we saw it on the replay. There was clear movement on both sides. Whether it was on one or the other team didn't really matter. It should have been a free play or at least a blown play before it even was snapped. So that's a tough break for Cumberland. And now the Bears have great field position here in the first quarter.
Unfortunately, the officials are not mic'd up. And, Nick, that is indeed 13 at quarterback. I am vindicated. Now I can see.
Well, I was told 17.
Who has the binoculars?
We need the binoculars.
Yeah, the binoculars are back home on Staten Island. We had a second game that we were covering earlier today. Okay. So it is number 13, Magic Mears at quarterback. So I was correct. It was a bit tough to tell from back here, but as he makes his way to the sideline now, we see him. And you have to wonder what he was thinking on that throw. He had to be thinking free play, and that's not a dig in any way. I'm just curious if he thought he had a free play.
That had to have been the reasoning for that type of a ball, because he had a wide open wide receiver on that play, but he overthrew him by a mile, leading to the interception for the safety.
I'm just curious what the mindset was for the offense of Cumberland on that play. Did everyone think that they had a free play? Was there any indication given that the play was going to be a free play, other than the fact that it looked like there was early movement? And you said it, Nick. We're not sure if the Bears jumped off sides or if Cumberland got moving a bit early, but I'll tell you, the Joseph T. St. Lawrence Sports Complex has had its share of officiating controversies in the games that we've covered here. A lot of discussion, a lot of deliberation, and right now a lot of uncertainty surrounding that last play. But it looks like the Bears offense is out on the field. Okay, so we got the call from outside. Well, we're being told that the call was illegal motion by one of our producers outside as the call is passed to us verbally. So I think that is the signal for an illegal motion that we saw when the official was signaling toward the stands, though, again, we couldn't hear anything, so that made it a bit difficult for us to make out what had happened. Either way, the Bears are going to take over on offense. It appears from about the 35-yard line of Cumberland, maybe the 40, as they're still working on spotting the football.
I think the spot of the ball is just due to the fact of the penalty. So there was a blindside block on the return.
Blindside block as well. So that one hurts if you're the Cobras, especially if you thought that you had a free play there, and you have to think that was the mindset throwing that ball down the field. And when that ball came down, there was no Cobra in the area. Another question is, what would a punt look like for Cumberland? Not every team carries a punter. As that ball is handed off up the middle, broken tackle by Trey Myers, but he can't escape the backfield. Or can he? He's still going as he's finally tackled for a loss of about 1. Good job by Myers to break several tackles. Good job by the Cobras to stay with that play defensively.
It looked like he was about to break it off and get a big gain. And you know what? The fact that he only lost 1 yard on the play, if you're the Bears, you're not happy that you lost yardage on the play, but you'll at least take a loss of 1 because that could have gone even worse for New York.
And when you see plays like that in your head as a coach, you're always thinking, secure the football, protect the football. It's all too often that as a coach you see a play like that end in a fumble. Spread shotgun set for the Bears. Rodriguez will look to throw on second down. He fires left, and Tyler Williams had that pass sail to his right. Not sure if that was a miscommunication between receiver and quarterback or a misfire on the throw. Either way, that sets up 3rd and long.
And early on, Rodriguez struggling to have any connection with his wide receivers. Had a couple overthrown balls on the previous drive. That one, as you said, might have been a miscommunication with his wide receiver on that one. Now leads to 3rd and long here at the 42-yard line. So he needs a big throw right here to continue the drive or at least make it about 4th and short on the next play.
Well, we have an official's timeout, Nick.
And if an issue with the football?
It appears that way. They are inspecting the game ball right now.
Gonna need an air pump.
The way they were squeezing it, shades of perhaps Deflategate?
If any Indianapolis Colts are watching, they might have PTSD that you just said that, Joe.
Who's in charge of the game balls?
They're still checking that football.
Well, I know for a fact that they had more than one football on site. I saw them tossing a ball around earlier, and they are now closely inspecting the football. So as they inspect the football, we may step aside and take a break here, as right now we're not exactly sure what's going on down on the field.
I think we're good now, Joe.
New ball ahead of 3rd and 11. So
okay,
another 3rd and long for the Bears, this time from the Cumberland 42-yard line. And the way this game has started, Nick, we know how good this Bears defense is already. We saw how the Cumberland defense performed on the first drive. Points might be at a premium in this one.
And we've seen Cumberland showing blitz a couple times on this drive too, and they have gone back into coverage like they did in the first type of drive. Now you have a 3rd and long here. Let's see who Rodriguez goes to here.
Spread shotgun set once again on 3rd and long. Rodriguez will look to pass. He steps up in the pocket, throws down the middle of the field, has a man open, and that play ends with a huge hit on Petty. What a shot he took, but he was able to hold on following the hit by Jackson.
And we saw Tyler Petty the last time we were here, Joe. He made some big-time plays, getting some big receptions, went over 100 yards in the game, and got a huge game for the Bears. Big 3rd and long, converts, and he was still able to hold on to the football after a huge hit, as it looks like that's going to be the end of the first quarter here.
And Nick, I'm a bit surprised we didn't see a flag on that one. In the college game, when you leave your feet like that to hit, you will get called for that, but that was a huge hit Petty took, and we will take a quick break ahead of the start of the second quarter. No score between the Cobras and the Bears after one from Hillburn.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
And we are back from the Joseph T. St. Lawrence Sports Complex in Hillburn, New York. No score through one. Perhaps a bit surprising given what we've seen from this Bears offense over the course of the season. We've covered them twice. They did not score in the first quarter against Empire State in Week 1. They marched down the field, turned it over on downs. That big completion on that last play resulted in a first down, and the Bears now take over from the 14. As they will fake the handoff. Throw on the post is off target. Not a big window there as they tried to get it to Shane Barker on the play action pass.
And they tried to go with another RPO right there, Joe, on that throw. Fake inside handoff, a quick snap of the ball for Rodriguez to throw it into the end zone. But once again, another overthrown ball by him. And you said it. It was a tight window to get it to the receiver. So now he got 2nd and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Believe that was Bartley in coverage, and he was covering him closely. As I said, a tight window. But that will set up 2nd down and 10 for the Bears. Once again, the snap coming from the 14-yard line. 2 receivers wide in the gun for Rodriguez. He's flanked in the backfield by Myers. And this time they will hand off to Myers. He makes a man miss, bounces outside. He's inside the 5 and taken out of bounds at the 3. First down, New York, goal to go, as they are now on the doorstep of their first score.
Nice run right there by Myers to get to the outside, broke a tackle or two, and was tackled out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. So it'll be a 1st and goal opportunity here for the Bears to get on the board first.
Just got to look at that last carry by Trey Myers. And the Bears will snap it with 1st and goal from the 3.
Have to think they go right back to Myers on a type of run here, but maybe could be another RPO type of play or a fade route.
Handoff goes to Myers. He powers his way forward as he stood up right at the goal line. He's forced back, and he is going to be just short as he is tackled at the 1.
Good job by that Cobras defense to keep him up and make sure that he did not cross the line for the touchdown. So now you got a 2nd and goal just at about the 1-inch mark coming up for the Bears. So the Cobras looking for what would be an unbelievable goal line stand if they are able to get it.
It is 2nd and goal from the 1. You have to think that the Bears will have 3 more opportunities to pick up this touchdown. No shot they kick from here. And you would think that if it's not a quarterback sneak with Rodriguez under center, that they would go back to Myers.
Look how many people are in the box right now, Joe.
It's a quarterback sneak. Once again, Rodriguez was stood up, but I think he was able to contort his body, and he did, as he is across the goal line for a Bears touchdown, and New York is on the board first following the Cobras turnover.
Rodriguez was able to get a 2nd effort on that run, and he was originally stood up, but that 2nd effort got him into the end zone. Bears striking first here in the 2nd quarter. They lead this one now 6-0.
The Bears turned it over on downs on their opening drive, quickly forced the turnover, albeit one that was surrounded in confusion and controversy on the Cobras' first drive. And looks like the Bears are getting set to go for 2 here. So you have to think they do not have a kicker available tonight. And the absence of a kicker always has the potential to play a role late in the game if it comes down to a 2-point conversion. That, of course, applies typically to the teams that have a kicker. We haven't seen many of those this year, but the Bears were one of them. And they will go for 2 out of the shotgun, 4 receivers wide. Once again, Myers flanks Rodriguez in the backfield. Bit of a high snap. Rodriguez pulls it down, throws right, and that was nearly tipped. Perhaps it was, as that ball sailed high. Bell was underneath that route. and looked to get fingertips on it, though. That might be an 11 and not a 1. That may have been Joe Lewis. Or perhaps that was a 17. Nick, it is just so hard to tell. Those numbers are razor thin, and that was number 17. That is Ryan Shelton, who leapt after that ball for the Cobras. Did a good job to help disrupt that pass. And something we haven't seen much. Juan Rodriguez has been a bit off the mark on some passes tonight. There have been some opportunities for the Cobras to get off the field, but we've seen how good this Bears offense is. If they're misfiring a bit in the passing game, they can lean on the running game. And when they needed a big completion on 3rd and long, Rodriguez delivered.
And that's the beauty of this offense for the Bears. If one thing doesn't work, at least they have the other thing to go back to and rely on. Passing game has been on and off so far in this first half, but Trey Myers has been a really big beast for them so far, getting them just shy of the end zone, leading to the Rodriguez QB sneak for the touchdown. So the Bears might not be able to get most of their yards through the air right now, Joe, but you said it. They have been able to run the ball very efficiently so far in this first half.
And when they've needed big plays on 3rd down, they've gotten them. We saw a couple of 3rd down conversions on the first drive, a big 3rd down conversion on that last drive, and that ultimately gave them the opportunity to score, thanks in large part to Trey Myers, who was heavily involved once they worked the ball down into the red zone. So it's a 6-0 lead for New York. And Cumberland never really got started on their opening drive. They had the run on 1st down, which went for a gain of 4. They then had an open out route on 2nd down, a bit of a misfire on that throw. And then the interception on that play that they thought had been blown dead. You would have to think that's what they believed anyway. I don't think there's any way that that throw happens if it weren't for the pre-snap movement. Turns out the call was a legal shift or an illegal motion. I'm not sure how the tackle can be guilty of an illegal motion. So what must have happened, either we missed something ahead of that movement on the right side of the Cobras offensive line, or maybe we got the call incorrect. I'm not sure.
Very confusing on that entire play, but the Bears took advantage of it, and now they have the 6-0 lead, Joe. So we'll have to see if this Cobra offense can now respond and try to tie this game at 6.
We await kickoff here as the officials right now are conversing with the Bears sideline.
And I think it was a T issue, Joe, so they're going to have a holder for this kickoff.
Now, I do not have a number 35 on my Bears roster, assuming that was indeed a 35 sending it away, as that ball comes to rest at the 25, and the Bears are there. But a tight window for Bryson Bartley, who was able to take that return out across the 35. I'm not sure how he found his way out of that traffic.
Very shifty on that one, Joe. Nice moves from him to get it at least past the 35-yard line. They'll start this drive from about the 37, as Cumberland now has a little bit more space than they did on the first drive. Now looking to tie this game at 6. They could really use a big-time drive right here, maybe milk some clock in order to give the Bears now a lot of time on maybe what could be the final possession of this first half.
Well, I was really interested to see what Cumberland was going to do on offense after that strong first defensive possession for them. You have to like what you saw from them defensively on drive number 1. They were able to get this Bears offense off the field, and with how long that Bears drive took, the Cobras were poised in great position to potentially take a lead into the second quarter, take a lead into halftime, but now they take over trailing by 6, and the complexion of this game completely changes.
We'll see now what they do here on their second offensive drive of the game after that interception on their first drive.
Trips right out of the shotgun for Cumberland on the first play of drive number 2, and they will hand it off, looking to bounce that run outside, and going nowhere on that carry was once again a ball carry that I believe to be Marshall Crump Sr. Is that a 6 or an 8 is the question. The hair makes it difficult. That might be a 6, Nick, and that would be Muck Stukes Williams if that is a 6, but we'll have to get a spotter on it. We need the binoculars.
We really do need the binoculars here. But he was able to at least get back to the line of scrimmage, which was big because they looked like they were going to lose about 2 or 3 yards on the play. So it keeps it now at 2nd and 10 here at the 36-yard line.
2nd down and long, a situation you would typically like to avoid against this Bears defense. We've spoken about how good their front 4 is, creating pressure, stopping the run. they're really able to do it all. And I think that is a 6, Nick. So that is Stukes Williams, if that is indeed a 6. 2nd and 10. Throw goes right. That is complete. And no gain, perhaps a loss on that play as Bell made the reception. He was quickly ushered out of bounds, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and long.
Well, the good thing for us, Joe, is we did confirm now it is definitely a 6. He was able to run up on our sideline, so it is Stukes Williams as the running back, but that loss of 1 now makes it 3rd and 11 coming up for the Cobras. So a situation here where they haven't really thrown the ball deep just yet. They did on that interception, but obviously did not work in that favor as they thought it was a free play. Let's see what they do here now on 3rd and long, trying to continue this drive. They need to get to about the 46, 47-yard line to continue it.
Well, I'm very curious to see how the protection for Cumberland stacks up against this Bears defensive front on a 3rd down and long. Officially, they have 3rd and 10. That looks about right. Maybe 3rd and 11. Mears will look to throw. He's looking left, and his pass is intercepted. The Bears have it with a convoy. Quatrell Huffin up the near sideline, and he is in for a New York touchdown. Pick 6 Bears. Quatrell Huffin on that high throw is able to come down with the pick. He had great blocking. He has a score, and it's 12-0 New York.
And you saw on the throw from Mears, it was a overthrow. He had a wide open receiver, but Huffin with a great job to get the interception. He was definitely huffing and puffing his way into the end zone, Joe, to get them now with a 2-possession lead.
We spoke about it during the pregame. Playmakers on offense, playmakers on defense. We've seen both on full display tonight, and the Bears now lead by 2 scores. As the way this game started for Cumberland, you couldn't have asked for much more. They get the stop. They get the ball with a chance to take an early lead. And with the turnover, everything changed as the Bears quickly got on the board for 6. Just 3 plays later, 3 offensive plays, and the Bears are on the board for 6 more as they will send out the offense for a 2-point try.
Potential to make this now a 14-0 game with the 2-point conversion. So, been a rough start for Cumberland's offense. They could really use another stop here on this 2-point try.
Looks like an option, speed option to the left, and the ball carrier is stood up at the goal line. I believe that was Justin Roman on the pitch from Rodriguez. So the lone blemish on this game so far for the Bears, aside from a couple of misfires in the passing game, they're 0 for 2 on their 2-point tries. It remains a 12-point game, and once again, the Cobras will get it back. Keep in mind, Cumberland does get the ball to start the second half. You have to think they would like to go into the second half down no more than 2 possessions for sure, but they would love to get within 1 score.
Well, they need to first, Joe, figure out how to get the ball down the field. They've only had, I believe, 3 yards of total offense so far on their first 2 drives of this game. So they need to try to first figure out how to get a first down against this very good Bears defense, and then go from there, try to get into the end zone and making this a 1-possession game.
Well, on that last play that resulted in the interception, you said it. The receiver was open. The throw was there. And Mears did a good job initially looking right, then coming back to the left side right on time to find his intended receiver breaking open toward the middle of the field. Unfortunately for Cumberland, the throw just sailed high. The good news as well is that the protection held up. I think if you're the Cobras, you need to try and incorporate the running game to a point where you can rely upon that to set you up in 3rd and a bit shorter. We saw a 4-yard first down run on the opening drive, and not much else on the ground since. So if you're the Cobras, you don't want to end up in 3rd down long. That's a situation where this Bears defense feasts.
Exactly, and they're very hungry for any opportunity like that where it's 3rd and very long. They like to feast on those opportunities and make big-time plays. Getting a pick 6 right there. We saw in the highlights they were able to get a couple pick 6s, or at least a couple of interceptions in that one against the Legion.
I like what you did there, from feasting to hungry, as once again Bartley will run this one back and takes a big hit.
Tell you what, it's making me hungry right now, Joe, saying those type of words.
We hoped to stop for a meal before the game. That will have to wait until the post game. Now, if you would like your eatery to be sponsored as part of our broadcast, you can reach out. pdfsportsnet@gmail.com. Sponsorship opportunities with the network across a wide range of price points and different segments, commercials, and more. We make the commercial for you. So keep that in mind. You pass us your business information and a few images. We take care of the rest here on PDF. And I'm one who tries food from just about anywhere that I'm directed. So if there's a sponsor, I will be certain to try it out. The AL2 season presented a lot of opportunities for us to check out some new sponsors. Empty shotgun set for the Cobras here. 5 receivers wide on first down, and they will throw left, setting up a screen. But the Bears are there as a flag comes out. And the Cobras are signaling that this one might be going against New York. It looked like they were signaling for a helmet-to-helmet. And I think that's going to be the call. At least initially that appeared to be the case, but instead
it's holding on the offense.
It's a penalty against the Cobras. So Cumberland appeared adamant that that call was going against the Bears, but it doesn't happen. And that will back up the Cobras offense 10 yards, setting up what should be a first down at 20.
And let's think about what we just spoke about, Joe, where these long drives where it's now 1st and 20 now coming up for Cumberland, this is what the Bears are looking for, looking to make mistakes on the other side of the football when it comes to penalties and trying to take advantage of those penalties and leading to opportunities for the defense to make big-time plays like they did in the last drive.
Well, the more your offense is backed up toward the end zone against the Bears defense, the more dangerous it gets as we have another flag against the Cobras. Now, that was thrown in the area of a delay of game, perhaps, but maybe somebody said something to the official.
And picking up the flag, it looks like. Timeout for Cobras.
Okay, timeout ahead of what I presume would have been a delay of game. So if you're the Cobras here, you have to be very careful not to let things unravel in this spot. It's only a 2-score game. If you can get to halftime receiving the second half kickoff down only 12, you're in a fine position. To go into the half down 3 scores changes everything and puts you in a really difficult position. That's something you have to avoid here at all costs.
And they really cannot afford to have these penalties really works in the advantage of the Bears. The holding now makes it 1st and 20 instead of them having a 2nd and 10 on that screen pass. So now you're the Cumberland. You have to try to figure out what can you do for these next couple plays to ensure yourselves that you'll make it a 3rd and very manageable, because that's really where Cumberland needs to look out for in these next 2 plays. Try to make it 3rd and very manageable for this offense and not give the Bears any opportunity on 3rd and long like we just saw on the pick 6 on the last drive.
Well, if you're Cumberland here, the goal on 1st and 20 plus is to make sure that you move in a positive direction. Once you end up in a 2nd and 20, and of course 3rd and 20, really puts a first down almost out of the question. But when you end up in those 2nd and very long situations, at that point, for this Bears defense, they're looking to put this drive to bed. And if you're Cumberland, you need to pick up something here on first down, a low-risk play, just get moving in the right direction. You have to think the Bears would be a bit more conservative on 1st and very long, but we'll see about that.
I'm curious to see if the Cobras maybe try to run the ball and confuse this Bears defense, try to get some yardage.
And they will hand it off, Nick, and they get good blocking. And staying on his feet was the back, Stukes Williams. He finally is spun down at about the 31-yard line, but not a bad 1st and 20 play there, and that was blocked very well by the right side of that Cobras offensive line.
Now that the Bears were expecting a run, that was the good thing for the Cobras on that play. And that's really what I was speaking about before we went into that first down play. The Cobras have to try to figure out a way to get into a 3rd and manageable. That is a good start to it. Now they need a couple more yards here on 2nd down. So we'll have to see what they call up here. Will they go back to the run on 2nd and long? I'd be curious to find out if they do it again.
We don't have an official yardage to go tally. You have to think they picked up about 5 or 6.
Well, the first down marker is at the 46-yard line, so about, I would say 2nd and 15 coming up.
So that carry was about 5 or 6 yards. Mears in the shotgun. He's looking left. Steps up and is sacked. The pocket collapses. And down goes Mears. In on that sack was DeJuan Williams, among other Bears. And they go from 2nd and long to 3rd and longer.
And now this is a bad spot if you're Cumberland now, 3rd and long. And now you have to really figure out what can you do here. Do you try to just run the ball, get some yards, and avoid another potential turnover for this Bears defense? But that second down play was just not what they needed in this spot now. Ball at the 25-yard line. They need 21 yards to get the first down.
And I think a run isn't off the table here, Nick. I don't think they will, but I don't think it's out of the question. Cobras will snap it from their own 25, and they have 5 receivers wide. They're looking to throw it, barring, of course, the quarterback draw, which we've seen pretty often. Pocket begins to collapse. Mears looking to run, then throws over the middle. And, Nick, I think they may have had the first down, but the receiver instead worked his way back toward the line of scrimmage. That was Bell on the catch. Mears did a great job to buy some time and get that throw off. That was going to be, I think, a 4th and 1. Instead, it's going to be 4th and 6.
It was a good catch nonetheless for Bell, but him moving backwards cost his team a few yards, and now 4th and about maybe 5 or 6 yards coming up at the 40-yard line. I believe the Bears took a timeout. Could be wrong about that. I don't know if there was a signal. I don't think there was, so never mind that. I'm not sure how much time is left in this first half for the Bears to have taken a timeout, but that's a tough break because if it was 4th and short, you have to think the Cobras could go for it in that spot. Now with it being 4th and medium, they have to punt it away.
I think they certainly would have went for it in that situation, as Huffin will be the return man on this punt for the Bears. They lateral that ball back and have good blocking in front. Here comes Nigel Swift up the far sideline, and Swift continues to work his way along the sideline before finally stepping out of bounds at the Cumberland 24-yard line.
They love those laterals, Joe. Another good one right there, and almost went for a punt return touchdown. The Bears are very flashy when it comes down to these games. When the lights are on, they are here to play. And now they have a great chance here. Looks like the ball is spotted at the 24-yard line, so great field position for them to try to make this a 3-possession game.
Well, once Huffin took one hand off of that football, you could see something was up. That's just how he was carrying the ball during that pick six.
He was looking to lateral at one point.
That we saw against the Legion, where he lateraled the ball back, and ultimately the Bears did score. 2 laterals on that interception. That last play, of course, a punt return. And that will set up a first down for New York inside the Cumberland 25. So another bad break for the Cobras. It looked like they were going to be in a 4th and short.
And they're going to call a timeout now here on defense. And they really need a big stop right here. Try to keep this a 2-possession game, because if the Bears go up 3 possessions going into the half, it's going to be a tough hill to climb for Cumberland in the second half.
With that timeout, the Cobras get some additional personnel on the field. They may have been down a man or two, which is what forced them to call timeout. I'm not sure where our timeout tally stands. You might have a better view of it than I do, Nick.
Right now, the Cobras have 1 timeout. The Bears have 2.
Got it. That could come into play if Cumberland gets the ball back, as the Bears will hand off on first down. Stiff arm by Myers in the backfield as he tried to bounce it outside and could not get there. First to him was Tamar Jackson, who was in on that tackle for the Cobras. And that play goes backwards about a yard or 2, and that will set up 2nd and long.
Yeah, if you're Cumberland, you've seen so far the Bears' offense has not been able to make some completions through the air. Did have that one big play on 4th down to continue the drive. Now, in this spot, you're looking to see if Rodriguez will throw it on 2nd and 12 from about the 26-yard line. So I'd be curious if he does throw it with the scenario up 12, trying to go up 3 possessions. Cumberland could really use a turnover right here to try to get some momentum before the half.
A stop could do the trick as well as the Cobras jump off sides. It's a run, and Romero, looking to cut it upfield, is stood up and tackled at about the 22. There is a flag on the near side. So
I was going to say, I didn't see a flag originally for a neutral zone, but it looks like that is the call.
Both of us were looking for it. It was thrown very close to the Cumberland sideline, so that is going to be, I believe, an offsides call against the Cobras. And the officials are going to confer about it now. Perhaps Cumberland is petitioning here that they were drawn offsides by movement from the right side of the Bears' offensive line. And I think it's always a bit easier to see when the defender jumps offsides than it is to see the offensive lineman move.
Right.
Because sometimes those movements are so subtle that you miss them from up here in the booth. So we'll await the official call, and it is offsides against the Cobras. So that will move the Bears up 5 yards after a short gain on that play, and that play will be negated by the penalty, setting up a second down and 7.
And again, that's another penalty that the Cumberland Cobras cannot afford here, Joe, giving the Bears now a second and medium here at about the 21-yard line. Cannot afford to be giving the Bears any opportunity on offense because they will definitely pounce and try to make them pay for it.
2nd and 7, New York. Ball just outside of the red zone. Rodriguez will look to throw. And he fires right. And that ball was on target, but his intended receiver, Travis Dutka, wasn't yet looking toward his quarterback. The ball landed right next to him. That's a high-level throw from Rodriguez. He threw that well before Dutka began his break toward the pylon in the front corner of the end zone. And that ball was right there, on time and on target. And I think it took Dutka by surprise how early that ball was thrown his way. And it was a good throw. That certainly could have been caught.
Yeah, now you have 3rd and 7 here after that incompletion. And we've seen a couple of plays in this game where the Bears have had opportunities through the air to try to convert. Haven't really had many conversions so far in this game through that air. So they missed the touchdown right there in the previous play. Let's see what they do on 3rd down. Trying to continue the drive. They got to get to about, I would say, the 13-yard line for the first.
And they will throw a screen right, lateral off that screen pass. And Myers is taken down. And he does get enough for the first down. So once again, the Bears with a bit of trickery. This time on 3rd and 7. And it's enough to pick up the first.
That's a very unconventional play right there to get you a first down. But we talked about it. The Bears do like to do these laterals, and they did a perfect one right there to get the first down mark. Now they have it at the 13-yard line, trying to get that third possession lead. So a nice 3rd down conversion for New York.
Ball spotted just outside of the 10-yard line. So they're a yard short, Nick.
They are.
So officially, they're a yard short. This is 4th down and early movement by the Bears. So I thought they'd move the chains. The official signaled first down. They do move the chains, Nick. We were correct. It is first down. The chains had not yet been moved. And that would have been huge.
Especially in that spot, because if it was not a first down, it would have been 4th and 6 after the penalty. But now, because it is first down, it'll be 1st and 15 coming up for the Bears after that false start.
All right, the official announcement was just made of public address, confirming that it is indeed a New York Bears first down. Penalty moves them back 5, 1st and 15 from the 17-yard line. Rodriguez in the shotgun. 2 receivers wide left, 1 man wide right. That's Petty along the near side, one of his favorite targets. Instead, he flips it left toward Trey Myers, and the pressure forced that ball to come out a bit earlier than Rodriguez would have liked. It falls incomplete.
And some of these throws for Rodriguez, he has been under duress from this Cobras defensive line. Bears now will take a timeout after that incompletion, but that's a credit to the Cobras. They've had some good pressure, have forced some errant throws from Rodriguez. They try to go with a halfback screen on that play. Now leads to 2nd and 15. Bears now with 1 timeout remaining here in the first half.
And I think it goes without saying, Nick, when you're faced with this Bears team, this offense, and this defense, you can't afford to turn the ball over. They've been so good so far this year, have put up a lot of points in more than one game already. In the 2 games we've covered, if my math is correct, they scored a combined 79. The 12 points in this game bring that total to 91. So this Bears offense has proven they are a very prolific bunch, and to give them extra possessions with turnovers, something that you typically cannot afford against this New York team. The first interception, you can chalk that one up to a bit of confusion surrounding the call pre-snap, but the second one is a pick that you can't afford to throw. That, of course, went for a touchdown.
And we've also seen, you talk about the defense, they've only allowed 6 points in the games that we've covered in those 2 matchups early on in the season and now so far through this first half. But it's really to come down to for Cumberland. They have to fix those mistakes going into the second half, cannot allow those 3rd and long plays. We saw with the Legion. The Legion had the exact same problem in which penalties made the conversions really tough and made it 3rd and very long most of the time, leading to those turnovers, and now it's happening to Cumberland here tonight.
Once again, Rodriguez in the shotgun. The Cobras pointing, indicating there was movement. No flag as Rodriguez will look to throw again. He's flushed out to his right. He throws on the move toward the end zone for a touchdown. Dutka gets a second chance, and he delivers on the touchdown pass from Juan Rodriguez, and the Bears now lead it by 3 scores. They're in front, 18-0.
Nice job by Rodriguez. He gets outside of the pocket once again, Joe, using his legs, forcing the defense to make sure he doesn't run out a QB scramble, and he finds Dutka in the right corner of the end zone for now a 3rd touchdown for the Bears, 2nd offensively, and now an 18-0 lead.
Rodriguez so good on the run, Nick. You pressure him, you force him to scramble out of the pocket. Not much changes. He is just as dangerous from outside of the pocket as he is from inside the pocket. And Dutka, after having 1 touchdown pass fall, incomplete next to him, wide open. Same spot right along that near sideline pylon. He makes the catch for the score. And the Bears now beginning to break this game open as they lead by 3 scores. Once again, they will go for 2.
Looking to make it a 20-0 lead.
And they will fake the handoff once again as that pass looked to be on target. May have been tipped as well. And it was tipped, at least according to the official, who looked to be signaling for a tipped ball. And the Cobras have done a good job defending around the goal line against the Bears' passing game, but unfortunately that hasn't been enough. Not many plays run by the Bears down around the goal line. They had a goal to go from about the 3, and they handed the ball off 3 times. Ultimately came away with the touchdown, handed it off twice to be exact, and scored on the quarterback keeper. But nonetheless, a 3-score lead for the Bears, and this drive now becomes huge for Cumberland. They need points.
If they can get points before the half, they do get the ball in the second half too. So they just need to make sure they can get a first down. They have not been able to do that so far in this game. They have more penalty yards than they have had total yards in this one so far. So they really need a good drive right here to get some kind of, a boost going into that second half.
2 things to watch on this drive. We spoke about one already. Cumberland needs points. They also have to make sure this possession is the last possession of the first half. You can't give the ball back to New York here before halftime and give them a chance to play, looking for a 4th score in the closing minutes or seconds of this first half. If you're the Cobras, make sure that whatever you do, you don't give the ball back to New York.
Got to be very smart on this drive.
Once again, the kickoff fielded at about the 20-yard line. Bartley taken down just past the 30 on the return, and that's where the Cobras offense will take over on their 4th possession of this first half. Thus far, they've turned it over a couple of times and punted it away. Of course, we saw, once again, a very exciting play on special teams. How many times have we said that covering the EFA? As the Bears went with the lateral on the punt return, that set them up in great field position, and this Bears team really clicks in all aspects of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. And Cumberland hoping to put a dent in that New York lead on this drive.
And we also saw on that offensive drive for the Bears a lateral on 3rd and 7 to get them that first down and continue the drive, leading to that Dutka touchdown. And now it's really imperative for Cumberland on this one to get something going, get some points before the half, and as you said, make sure that this is the final drive of the first half.
We touched on it during the pregame. 3 teams in the XCFL, the Cobras one of them, 4 teams in the EFA. And we've seen the Bears face all 3 other teams in the EFA at one point or another this season or last season as the Cobras run a first down counter. And there's a big hit on Aj Empson along the near side. Empson getting his first carry of the game, if I'm not mistaken. He has gotten some snaps at running back so far. I think that's his first carry.
A 3 on first down, now 2nd and 7 coming up from the 34-yard line. And they just need to continue this, Joe, and just try to get some positive yardage, milk some of the clock, and make sure that the Bears don't get the ball back. Because if it's a 4-possession lead, then it's really going to be tough for Cumberland to come back in the second half.
I don't believe we've reached the 2-minute warning yet, unless that's it right here. And it is a timeout called by the Cobras instead.
That is the last timeout of the half.
That's big, especially as they look to drive down the field potentially in the closing minutes of the half. We have to believe that we're closing in on the end of the first half. No signal yet for the 2-minute warning. But the Cobras, with a 2nd down and 7, hopefully for them, that will help them avoid another 3rd and long situation. We've seen that so often in this game. Right now, the Bears huddled near their side of the field. The Cobras appear just about ready to go on 2nd and 7. The officials waiting. Hands on hips. 5 officials tonight. And the whistle blows to resume play as the Bears make their way back into position defensively. So, 2nd down and 7. For Cumberland from their own 34-yard line. And they need to keep moving forward. They can't afford negative plays. They have to protect their quarterback, Magic Mears. 3 receivers split out wide to his left. They fake the screen. Mears initially avoided the sack, but he cannot get away from Gerard Revenge.
And now something to point out, Joe, is the Bears have 1 timeout still left remaining in the first half. With that sack now making it 3rd and long, they've got an opportunity to get the ball back one more time. But it does look like we might be towards the end of the half.
That might have been the final play of the half. So we missed the 2-minute warning, Nick, and that's one of the disadvantages of not having a clock. So a sack ends the first half as Revenge took down Mears on the final play of the second quarter. So with that, we head to halftime. The New York Bears leading the Cumberland County Cobras 18-0 in an EFA versus XCFL League crossover matchup. We'll be back with the second half in about 15 minutes right here on the PDF Sports Network.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years, and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500. The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com. When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years, and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com. East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years, and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500. The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com. When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years, and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500. East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years, and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500. The EFA is proud to be sponsored by KD's Black Magic Seal Coating. At KD's, we specialize in residential and commercial seal coating, crack filling, pothole repair, parking lot striping, and much more. Our licensed and insured team treats your project with great care and free estimates always. Contact Corey today at 631-562-8865 or email mrkd8985@gmail.com.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
And we're back here on the PDF Sports Network, just moments away from the start of the second half between the New York Bears and the Cumberland County Cobras. Once again, this is Joe Foreman rejoining you on the call alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona. And in case you missed our pregame, one final time, we'd like to remind you that the PDF Sports Network is now on Roku. That includes a full on-demand catalog of all of our most recent games, some of our favorites from the past 2 years of coverage here on PDF. We also have a rotating programming guide that runs 24/7, so you can catch the PDF Sports Network on the go anytime, any place. Great times over on the PDF Sports Network over on our Roku channel, now featuring the You Know I'm Right podcast with our colleague here at PDF, Nick Durst, and his co-host, Joe Calabrese. Be sure to check that out as well. Also, if you'd like to sponsor us here at the PDF Sports Network, email us at pdfsportsnet@gmail.com. And while you're there, be sure to check out the new Elite Football Alliance website, EliteFootballAlliance.com. Schedules, scores, standings, and more over at EliteFootballAlliance.com. Be sure to check out the all-new EFA website, which debuted about 3 weeks ago now. Been in the works for a long time, and the EFA very excited to roll out their new website. As for us, Nick, we're excited for the start of the second half. The Cobras will be receiving the kickoff to open up half number 2. What do they have to do to get on the board here?
Well, they need to find a way to get the ball down the field, Joe. They have not been able to get any type of offense in this first half. A lot of their yards have been through the ground. I don't believe they've completed a pass other than those 2 interceptions for the Bears defense. And another thing, too, they haven't converted a first down also in this game. A lot penalty yards. They've had a lot of bad things happen. But if they're able to get something going on this first drive of the second half, and if their defense can get them a stop, they could make this one interesting. But we've seen from this Bears team, Joe, they will not give up leads, and they will make sure to put an exclamation point on these type of games.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Nick, the Cobras have not completed a pass for positive yardage in this game. They did complete a couple of screen passes. I don't think either of those went for a gain. But I could be wrong there as the Bears kick it off. That one lands at about the 25-yard line. And on the return, very quickly, Aj Empson was shut down, didn't get very far following him bringing in that kick. And the ball will be spotted at the Cumberland 33-yard line. That's where they will start their first drive of half number 2.
And they really need to figure out what exactly they can fix upon after what happened in that first half. they were able to run the ball a little bit in that first half to get them some positive yards, but they're going to need to try to get some completions in this second half with a 3-possession lead. It's going to be tough to try to run the ball and try to be, time conservative because you want to give yourselves an opportunity later in the game to try and potentially tie it.
I think if you're the Cobras, you need to look to run it on the early downs to make sure you don't end up in 3rd and long,
right.
4th and long, because I think right now, trailing by 3 scores, unless you move backwards, you're in 4-down territory the rest of the way.
Right.
Especially with what we saw from the Bears on their one punt received a bit earlier in the game. Big return following a lateral. Mears in the shotgun. He will hand off on 1st down, but the Bears are there. Big hit in the backfield by Davis. He was joined by Chris Rodriguez, and there was just nowhere for the back to go on that attempt.
No chance whatsoever as soon as he got the handoff. Loss on the play, now makes it 2nd and long. And another chance for this Bears defense to force a 3rd and long if they could force an incompletion or get another quick stop on a potential running play.
Sound the siren again, Nick. I thought that was the 1st down siren, but we have an artificial noisemaker.
Maybe
in
it's
the
a
stands.
Big play siren.
Shotgun set, 3 receivers to the right. Looks like only 2 defensive backs in that area for the Bears. Numbers favoring the Cobras over there. And the throw goes the other way. It is intercepted. Clear path to the end zone. Pick 6, Nigel Swift. And you got a taste of that in our opener, Nick. Nigel Swift had a huge pick 6 last year in the game we covered against the Gators, and he has a chance here to make it a 4-score game. Right now, it is still technically a 3-score game. It's 24-0, but the Bears' offense will come out, go for 2, and try to make it a 4-possession lead.
And you saw on that throw pretty much a 1 read from Mears on that throw, leading to the pick 6, and now the lead is getting, and now it's starting to get out of hand, Joe, unfortunately, for Cumberland. Now trailing in this one 24-0. Potential 2 points would make it, as you mentioned, a 4-possession game, making it 26-0. So far, the only thing that's got right for Cumberland defensively, which is not fair to say because they've also been good defensively most part, but they have been able to stop some of those 2-point conversion attempts from the Bears. I believe the Bears now are 0 for 3, looking to get into the end zone for the first time in a 2-point conversion right here.
Well, Nick, this deficit is not on the Cumberland defense. We had 2 pick 6s. They had a huge punt return, did the Bears. That took them down inside the 30 as they will go for 2. It is a read option chance to throw, and that ball is knocked down by Jackson.
Now, Joe, I don't know if you saw that the Bears had a different quarterback on that type of play. It looked like maybe a wildcat formation they had on that read option throw.
They had Huffin at quarterback. Number 11, the quarterback on that play. And Huffin's been heavily involved thus far, especially on the defensive side. We saw him as the punt returner, the one who pitched the ball back.
For a second.
For just a few moments before he pitched that ball back. But the Bears, as we've said all season, very opportunistic, playmakers on both sides of the ball. They block well. Their defensive front creates pressure. Their linebackers are there in the running game. They do a lot well, and they're a tough team to beat on any night. But when you turn the ball over 3 times, it becomes infinitely more difficult, if not impossible.
And you said it, it's really impossible when you have these possessions get out of hand. You give up touchdowns like you did on that last offensive drive, giving up now your 2nd pick 6 of the game. And Cumberland, it's just been a rough time for them. They try to run the ball on 1st down. They lost 2 yards. Then they try to throw it. It did not work in that favor with the pick. It just really has not been a good offensive game from the Cobras, and the Bears have swarmed on them and have taken advantage of every opportunity they've gotten here early on in this second half, and including also the first half.
That ball finally scooped up inside the 10 by the Cobras, and gang tackle there shuts down any opportunity for a return. So now Cumberland will start from deep in their own territory. We saw that earlier in the game, and they need a score, and they need it quickly. Down 3 possessions, however, with the failed 2-point try by the Bears. And you hate to end up in a position where you're looking at 3-possession game, 4-possession game. But right now, it is a 3-possession differential between these two teams.
And obviously, with the stakes and the standings for Cumberland, this one really has gotten away from them. So now they need to figure out if this game does get away, and so far it has gotten away from them. They're going to need some outside help in order for them to make the postseason, but they still have a chance with a couple of weeks left in the season to do so.
Well, Cumberland is in a very different situation. The XEFL, a 3-team league right now, and they do have one game, or I should say a half game in hand over Baltimore, as there's a good first down run, and the ball looked like it nearly came out there, but a good job to hold on by Muck Stukes-Williams. And he picked up a nice gain on first down, and if the Cobras got more of that throughout this game, I think it would be much easier to pass the football. They've ended up in 3rd and long repeatedly. That didn't apply on the last drive, but the Bears just read that play on the previous drive very well and easily jumped that pass intended for the sideline and turned it into a pick 6. Looks like 2nd and about 1 here. An opportunity to take a shot if you're the Cobras. Not much to lose. And they will look to throw. Time in the pocket for Mears and a miscommunication there with his receiver. Closing in on him was Deshaun Frazier again. And he's been heavily involved, creating pressure up the middle. Of course, DeJuan Williams, we didn't get a chance to mention him during the pregame, but he had what we thought was a huge scoop and score last year. Still, very formidable pass rusher for this Bears defense. And I know you weren't here for that moment, Nick, but for those of us who were here at PDF, that play was unforgettable. I know you've seen the play.
I have.
But you weren't here. That was my first time at this facility. One of my favorites across all of the different sports leagues we've covered. The Joseph T. St. Lawrence Sports Complex in Hillburn, New York, the site of tonight's game. It's 3rd down and 2 now. And they faked the screen, and I think they got just enough. Stukes-Williams on the carry. First down, Cumberland. Now, Nick.
That's the first time they've gotten a first down in this game, Joe, with that conversion. So there is a silver lining at the end of the day for this Cumberland team. They are able to finally get that first down. Can that maybe spark something for the rest of this drive? We'll have to find out.
And when this game started, it was very tough for me to believe that it would turn out this way. The Cumberland defense on that opening drive made things so difficult on the Bears offense, but unfortunately the turnovers haven't given them much of a chance. Cobras have it at their own 21-yard line. Still a long way to go to get on the board for the first time, but they do have their first down of the game. And they will hand it off again. And looking to bounce it outside unsuccessfully was Stukes-Williams, the Bears defense chasing him down. And they had 3 receivers to the right of the line of scrimmage blocking in front of that play, and still the Bears defense able to close on the running back and make that tackle.
They've just been very aggressive on the defensive front in this scheme, getting a loss of about 1 on that play to make it 2nd and 11. And we've spoke about, Joe, what has really been a big factor for the Bears in this game has been the mistakes on the offensive side, whether it being those turnovers or the amount of penalty yards that they've allowed in terms of for Cumberland. And that has really hurt them in this game. And the Bears have taken advantage of every single disadvantage for the Cobras in this one.
It's 2nd down and 11 following the 1-yard loss on the first down carry. Once again, 3 receivers right. Mears out of the shotgun. He's looking to his left. Heaves one down the sideline. Man has a step, but the ball was just a bit underthrown. Ryan Shelton had a chance. He had at least a step or two on the nearest Bears defender, but the ball was just a bit underthrown.
And Huffman was one of the defensive players in that vicinity of the field, able to just get a hand on it and force that incompletion. A nice job by that Bears defense forcing the incompletion. And now making it, I believe, it's 3rd and 11.
Another 3rd and long for Cumberland, and that's been a big issue for them tonight. And when you end up in 3rd and long, trailing by multiple possessions, needing a first down, that's when you become very prone to mistakes and turnovers on the offensive side. You have to think that regardless of whether or not they get this, they may go for it on 4th down. In a 3-possession game, perhaps not, but if they get close, I think going for it on 4th is certainly on the table. 3rd and 11. Mears will look to throw. He's flushed out to his right, waving a man down the field, and that ball goes to the sideline. I thought he was going to throw that down the field toward Bartley, and perhaps we'll see it on replay. He looked to be open.
Bartley was wide open in the middle of the field. He had a bunch of space in the middle of the field. You'll see here on the replay as Mears rolls out, tries to throw it to the receiver on the outside, but did not look towards the middle of the field. And that was a big missed opportunity right there for the Cobras to get a conversion.
Well, Nick, I've been summoned outside. You take over for just a moment.
Okay. So with that incompletion now, it will be, I believe, 4th and 11 coming up at the 20-yard line. That is the case. So it looks like the Cobras are going to punt in this situation. Let's say there's a potential camera issue right now, so we'll try to get that fixed. But as of now, we have a 4th and 11 for Cumberland. We saw the Bears early on with some flashing of a lateral on a punt return. Let's see if they do it again. Almost blocked. Huffin is the one in the backfield to return. He does pick it up, and he won't go much far as he goes out of bounds at around the 35-yard line. So Cumberland gets another good, decent punt right there. Bears now will start from their 36, a 24-0 lead, and they really could put this game on ice here with a touchdown on this drive, trying to make it a 30-0 game. And it's just been a rough game for Cumberland in terms of their offense. They've just not been able to get the ball down the field. They finally got their first down of the game on that last drive. Just could not do anything after that. And now because of it, it leads to the punt. Now we have a first down scenario for the Bears coming up. They will start this one now at the 39-yard line. So this is a huge drive for the Bears to put this one out of reach. Rodriguez in the shotgun. Myers will get the handoff. It's a fake handoff, actually, and it's caught. And it's going to be a short pickup of about 6 yards on the play to make it 2nd and 3 or 4 on the play. As I have now been rejoined by Joe Foreman. It looks like we are fixed any camera issues that we potentially just had.
So we had some color balancing issues with the camera outside. We were having some issues with our zoom configuration in the first half. One of our cameras employs an auto zoom feature that was wreaking havoc. Our other camera does not. We swapped, and the color balancing for our second camera was set for the hockey rink, so we had to change the color settings. But we're good as the handoff goes up the middle to Myers. He breaks one tackle, bounces it outside, has a blocker ahead of the play. Myers up the sideline. He's finally shoulder tackled out of bounds inside the 15, or at least it appeared that way. It looks like he's going to be spotted down closer to the 20. Nonetheless, a big gain for Myers. He's been great tonight. This Bears offense keeps rolling.
Myers with another good run right there. Started up the middle, makes a nice cut to the outside, had some open space, and if not for that one defender pushing him out of bounds, could have gone all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. But now a red zone opportunity for the Bears here, looking to add to their lead.
Bears with yet another trip into the red zone, or awfully close to it. This ball is spotted right on the 20, perhaps a bit outside of the 20-yard line. And a score here likely puts this game away for New York. They shut out the Cobras once already this year on the road as they hand off to Romero up the middle. And he is now certainly inside the 20, down at about the 16.
And the Bears once again shuffling those running backs. A long run for Myers. They shuffle in Romero after that, and now he gets 4 yards to make it 2nd and 6. And timeout on the field taken by the Cobras.
Timeout Cobras. And with that, we'll step aside and take a quick break. 24-0. The Bears over the Cobras as we wind down toward the end of the third quarter.
East Coast Trophies and Awards has been serving your awards needs since 1986 and is now a proud sponsor of the PDF Sports Network. From sports-specific trophies and plaques to corporate and business promotions and gifts, East Coast Trophies and Awards is your one-stop shop for all of your crowning achievements, and they always meet the right price. Contact Chris today at 848-223-7071 or visit them at www.eastcoastawards.com.
And we are back in the midst of a play here as Ralston Romero takes a carry up the middle. And he's taken down at about the 5-yard line. So once again, the Bears go to the ground game. They have a lead late. They can afford to do that as often as they want. But the Bears continue to run the ball well, and now they're on the doorstep of yet another score.
And with a big lead like this, you just want to try to milk some clock and get this game over with so you can avoid any injuries with still just about a month left in the season. So for the Bears, they just want to make sure they can get out of this one unscathed without any, injuries to their team and try to add to their lead right here. Now, first and goal at the 5-yard line.
Well, following the conclusion of this drive, we're going to take a look at our upcoming schedule of broadcasts here on the PDF Sports Network. A lot to be excited about coming up, including some more EFA action next weekend. But we do have one stop before then, and we're going to share that with you following the conclusion of this drive. There it is, Nick. Read option.
There it is.
Rodriguez gets a huge block.
And that's going to come back, Joe.
From, I believe, Petty. And flags fly everywhere. Now, that was not Petty. That was instead number 3, Dickens. Now, I'm trying to recall, Nick, was it Dickens or Petty who made the huge catch over the middle?
That was Petty
took
earlier.
The big hit. It was Petty. I thought perhaps that hit may have been retaliation for the hit earlier in the game. From up here, it's really hard to tell number 2 from number 3 on the uniforms, but that was a huge block.
That's one of those blocks where you like to look at the film tape and you see that on the film, but unfortunately for the Bears, it negates the touchdown that they just scored with Rodriguez, as we mentioned, on a read option, was able to get into the end zone, but now the touchdown comes off the board due to that block.
Once those flags flew, I honestly stopped following Rodriguez, and it looked like Dickens had words for the player that he blocked. Now, that may have been Fahim Trice, though it's tough to tell. The official is speaking to Trice right now, and he waved away any substitution from the sideline. But I lost who it was that got taken down on what I would presume is going to be called an illegal blindside block.
The officials did take a little bit of time to see where the ball would be placed. It looks like it's going to be placed just past the 20-yard line, maybe at the 21. So now a first and goal from the 21-yard line. So a tough, not a great penalty to take in that spot where you could have gone up 30-0, but we'll see if the Bears can bounce back and still add to their lead.
Bears will hand off. Romero tried to bounce it outside, broke a couple of tackles, but finally goes down inside the 20 at about the 18. Now, given the interaction after that play, I'm of the belief that was retaliation for something earlier. I have to think so. Could be wrong. But given what looked to be a verbal lambasting that was dished out after the end of that play, I think that was retaliation for something we saw earlier, perhaps that big hit early in the game. I thought we may see a flag on that play. I'm not sure what constitutes defenseless receiver based on the letter of the law. And it looks like we're about to switch sides at the start of the fourth quarter. So we'll take a minute to think about that. And when we come back, start of the fourth, Bears lead the Cobras 24-0.
When only the most trusted law services are needed, then you need Justin Feinman, Esquire, now a proud sponsor of the EFA. Specializing in family, matrimonial, and criminal law, Justin Feinman has been meeting the needs of clients and families for years and with results that matter. Operating out of Garden City, contact attorney Justin Feinman at justin@jfnylaw.com or call 516-429-9500.
And we are back from the Joseph T. St. Lawrence Sports Complex. Start of the fourth quarter between the Bears and the Cobras. The Bears looking to make this a 4-possession game and effectively put it out of reach as we had early movement on the left side of the New York offensive line. That's going to be a false start. Back them up 5.
Well, we had trouble early on deciding if it was a false start neutral zone on that interception play. That one you can clearly tell was a false start on the Bears offense, now making it 2nd and goal from it looks like the 24-yard line right now.
So the Bears right now moving in the wrong direction. Definitely margin for error here if you're in New York, but of course
there goes that siren again, Joe.
The siren sounds, the ball is in the air, and it is incomplete. Nearly intercepted by Bryson Bartley. He had great coverage on the intended receiver, though that left corner of the end zone a bit beyond our sight line up here in the press box.
Looked like for a second the Bears almost caught it for the touchdown. A good defensive play from Bartley, now 3rd and goal from the 24.
If I'm not mistaken, the intended target was Shane Barker. And Barker very closely covered on that play by Bartley. And that go route, those fade routes are passes that Rodriguez is just so good at throwing. Even when it's not open, he can throw his man open. And he tried to do so right there. The coverage just too good. And that sets up a 3rd and very long. So the Cobras have a chance to get off the field here. I can't imagine the Bears would go for it on 4th and 24. That seems like more of an injury risk than anything. But you never know.
Joe, the last game we saw what the Bears did at the end of the game, so anything is possible.
Rodriguez avoids pressure. He buys time, throws rolling left. He's intercepted. Chance for a run back on the pick here, and an opportunity for Ryan Shelton up the sideline. He is gone. Shelton will score a Cobras touchdown on the pick 6, and all of a sudden, Cumberland could get back into this game with a successful 2-point try.
Nice job by Shelton right there to get the interception 1, but then making some good moves towards his sideline to avoid the tackle, and he made a good one to get into the end zone. Huge touchdown for Cumberland. They are on the board, and you said it, Joe, a 2-point conversion could make this one very interesting. Now 24-6 here early in the fourth quarter.
And we mentioned it earlier, Nick. Rodriguez is great at buying time. He's great at throwing on the move, great at throwing on the run when he gets outside the pocket. That time he was rolling to his weak side. As we saw in our highlights during the pregame, he's been able to make that throw and has made it in games we've covered already this year. I think that time, running may have been the wise decision. The throw wasn't there. It was intercepted, and just like that, Cumberland has an opportunity to make this a 2-score game. They would need 2 additional 2-point conversions following 2 touchdowns to get even, but if they get this conversion, there's definitely hope if you're the Cobras.
And 2-point conversion would do a lot for this team going into the rest of this game. Let's see what they call up here. At this 2-point conversion, trailing by 18, looking to make it a 16-point deficit.
I think if you're Cumberland, there's no doubt you have to have this one. 2-point conversion try coming up. 2 receivers wide right. Mears out of the shotgun. He throws a fade left. Flag flies, and that pass is swatted down.
There was some early movement at the line, Joe. I'm trying to see if that was a false start on Cumberland or a neutral zone on the Bears. I would tend to believe that was on Cumberland, so that would be declined by the Bears to keep this game at 24-6.
Well, you have to wonder again, if that's a false start on Cumberland, that play needs to be blown dead. And instead, it looks like they are going to potentially back them up. No, they're leaving the field.
It was a false start, and the penalty was declined.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a false start officiated that way. But that might effectively end this game for Cumberland. It's going to be really tough to get 3 scores.
And the question I pose now for you is, do they onside kick at this spot? It's still early in the fourth quarter, but you're down 18 points. It might be now or never for this team.
I would say probably not.
Okay.
Probably not, because I think what you would lose in field position should you onside kick makes it not worth it to onside kick.
Right.
So if they were to onside and get a 3 and out, they're going to start at their own 10-yard line. If they kick it off and get a stop, there's a chance they get the ball in plus territory. So it's 24-6, and we'll see what the Cobras elect to do here. I don't think there's a guarantee that they send this one deep. I think an onside kick certainly needs to be on the minds of the Bears, but
the Bears are setting up in a normal kickoff, so
I don't think they're going to onside kick. I think the right play is to kick this off. You're between a rock and a hard place right now.
The defense has done a good job in this game nonetheless. Overall, they've only allowed 1 touchdown in this entire game.
I always hate to frame it this way, but let's say hypothetically the Cobras in the first half hand the ball off 3 straight downs each time they get the ball.
Right.
That eliminates those 2 pick sixes, so that's 12 points off the board. Let's say you give the Bears 1 additional drive, should you run it 3 times per offensive possession, and they score once, you're still 1 touchdown closer. The turnovers have been key in this game, and the Cobras do indeed kick it off. That first interception, I think, really set the tone as the Bears have great blocking on this return, and perhaps much more than that, as they may have a chance for 6, but the lateral is flipped in the air. That's an illegal forward pass. No way that's going to stand. And, boy, that is a huge risk that the Bears just took, flipping that ball into the air forward. And Nick, I'm at a loss for words.
I was going to say, I'm speechless that they tried to do that.
That being said, had the Cobras attempted an onside kick, they might be in an even better position than they find themselves in right now, because the Bears are probably going to take over at about the 40-yard line.
Right.
I can't believe the Bears flipped that ball into the air like that.
That was the riskiest play I've ever seen, because if you don't recover that, and Cumberland does, this is realistically an opportunity for the Cobras to make this a game. But that illegal forward pass will now set the ball at, it looks like right now, the 35-yard line. But is that where the lateral took place?
It may have been a bit further, and perhaps they tacked on a 5-yard penalty.
Maybe.
That is the yardage penalty for an illegal forward pass, correct?
I think so, but
I think so as
wrong.
well. I'm certainly no accredited official, as the Bears will hand off on first down, and that's blown up by the Cobras. And all of a sudden, Cumberland has some momentum. I think the fact that they trail by 3 scores puts a damper on that a bit. But once again on that play, it was Ryan Shelton. And on the tackle, he's made a couple of big plays the last 2 offensive snaps for the Bears.
And it's really going to come down to, for Cumberland, they've got to make a quick stop, a quick 3 and out, get you an opportunity to get your offense back the ball. And you'd have to go no-huddle offense if you're that offense, down 18 points to make it a 2-possession game. So Cobras just need to focus on trying to get a quick stop. Good start on first down. Let's see if they can get that quick 3 and out and get the ball back to their offense.
Well, if my count is correct, they scored on the second play of this fourth quarter or the third? It was one of the first 3 plays.
Yes. The second, there was the run on first down and the pick 6.
Okay. So there's still plenty of time left in this game.
And movement on the line again, Joe.
And at some point, the Cobras will have to force a turnover. The question here is false start or offsides. It is a false start. And the Bears making some uncharacteristic mistakes here that theoretically could open the door for Cumberland. If the Bears go 3 and out with a couple of incompletions, all of a sudden, Cumberland has the ball with about, you have to think, between 13 and 14 minutes left. And if their offense can find some points,
it's got to be very quick points.
They can make it a 2-score game. I think failing on that 2-point try is just so demoralizing if you're the Cobras. And they went with the fade on the 2-point conversion. That's a very popular play call in that spot. And it's a play that you have to have great confidence in to call, just throwing up a jump ball down at the goal line. As the Bears will hand off again, big hole up the middle for Myers. And he's tackled shy of the 30. So that will set up about 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. Nice gain on the run. And the Bears will have a 3rd down and about 8. Cumberland has to get off the field here. And, Nick, if you're the Bears, I think you probably end up going for it on 4th down.
I think if I'm the Bears also in this spot, I'd say I'd still run the ball because you don't want to have an incompletion and then keep the clock stopped and give Cumberland any time that they don't want. I think if you're in New York right now, run the ball, keep it going, and if you make it 4th and short, you can go for it. Almost another jump there.
Rodriguez will look to throw. He pump fakes as he pulls it down. Airs one out toward the sideline, incomplete. Now, just to be clear, with 4th down coming up, I'm not saying I would go for it on 4th down. I'm saying I think the Bears will go for it on 4th down, just to clarify.
Especially on this side of the field.
Yeah, I think the way that Jason Walker is coached has typically been pretty aggressive.
Or they could do the old Tom Brady play where the quarterback takes it, does a quick punt, and try to pin them inside the 10. That's also maybe a possibility on this spot.
Rodriguez can punt, Nick. If I'm not mistaken, last year he did show the ability to punt the football. Now it looks like they're going to bring the punt team out on the field, but I'm not sure about that. The entire team is huddled at about the 45-yard line. The Bears called timeout.
This is probably one of those decisions where you ask your team, what do you feel most confident in doing right now, whether it being maybe trying to draw them offside. We saw earlier in this game where the Bears had a 4th and 7, got a neutral zone, made it 4th and 2, weren't able to convert on that 4th and 2, but they were able to make it 4th and short. Do you try to do that again and make it 4th and 3 and make it more manageable for your offense?
I think that's certainly a possibility. The 5 yards, if you take the delay of game, doesn't cost you much here. It might even make it easier to punt the ball and pin the Cobras back. If I'm making the decision here, I'm certainly punting it if I have a punter that I'm confident in. The question becomes, is it more of a risk to punt the ball and have the Cobras send everyone to block it? Or is it more of a risk to go for it on 4th down and throw a pass that could potentially result in a turnover?
It's really, especially if you send everyone out, because you risk the potential of running into the punter or roughing the punter and then giving the Bears an automatic 1st down. So,
didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from a Bears perspective. More risky to throw a pass or more risky to punt it away?
Oh, right.
And they're going to pass it, you would presume, here on 4th down. It's 4th and 8. Rodriguez will look to throw. The Cobras send 5. Rodriguez tucks it, looks to run, and he has nowhere to go as he slides and is tackled from behind. And, boy, that's a dangerous play for a quarterback. He slid with a defender attempting to tackle him from behind. And fortunately, Rodriguez looks okay, but that could have been very bad for the Bears quarterback there.
He did get tangled up on that tackle, but thankfully he was able to go back to the sideline, and it looks like he is okay. But for Cumberland, they get the turnover on downs forced. They now get the ball back, and we mentioned it. They're going to have to go down the field very quickly to have any hope in this game, as the Bears did take a little bit of time off the clock on that drive. So Cumberland's got to be very quick if they want to have any chance.
In terms of time coming off the clock, not much. I don't think it was that much.
We have
you
been
have to
wrong.
Remember the big kick return?
Right.
They had a big kick return, a couple of runs, and then that 3rd down pass. That was it, if I'm not mistaken.
We have been wrong before, though, when it comes to time management here.
It's so tough to figure out exactly where we are at any given point in a quarter without time being kept on the premises, but the officials take care of that. And every once in a while, in a close game late, we will get a time check up in the booth. So if this game gets a bit closer, I have a feeling that's going to be the case.
Well, let's see if Cumberland can do something. Only 1 first down to their offensive in this game.
Mears rolling to his left, and that pass was broken up along the far sideline. Not a bad ball, but the Bears dial up the pressure on first down, though. It looks like they may have rushed just 4, and we've seen that this Bears defense is able to create pressure with 3, able to create pressure with 4. And that time, Mears was forced to roll to his left, and he was able to get a throwaway at the very least to prevent the sack.
And it becomes tough at that point for your quarterback where you're throwing it to your weak side, and you only have one option on that side of the field, where if you were to run to your stronger side, you don't really have an opportunity to make a play. For Mears right there, it just had really no chance, only had the one route to throw it to, incompletion, now making it 2nd and 10.
Once again, trips to the left out of the shotgun. The Bears showing blitz, and the Cobras hand it off. Nice job to make one man miss by Stukes Williams, but that's all he's able to do as he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that will set up 3rd and long.
Another 3rd and long for the Cobras here. And with time being of the essence for them, they're going to need a huge 3rd down conversion right here to try to give them some type of hope with the 4th quarter winding down.
Well, when it was a 3-score game, I thought perhaps they'd look to run the ball a bit more on early downs. Now trailing by 3 scores, 4th quarter, I'm not sure they have the time left in this game to run the football. They need a big play here on 3rd and 9. There's no question about that. Ball at their own 36-yard line. Mears will take the snap from the shotgun. Spread set. 2 receivers wide left, 2 wide right. He's flanked in the backfield by Stukes Williams. He will look to throw. Mears steps up. Throws near sideline. Complete to Bell. And Bell almost was able to get away. But Nick, I think he may have stepped out of bounds before being the first man to touch the football. That would be a flag for illegal touching. The flag came in very late, but I thought Bell stepped out of bounds.
And it's not one of those scenarios where a flag would keep the down marker, Joe. Now it becomes an incompletion and making it now 4th and 9 for the Cobras. That is a tough break for them on that play. And now the game on the line right here for them.
Also, not to be lost in all of that following the illegal touching, is that Bell was almost able to break free. And we do confirm via replay that Bell stepped out of bounds. Good work by our camera operator, Pat Gilorenzo. He is braving the elements tonight. Earlier in the day, it was nice and warm out. It's not nice and warm anymore.
No, it is not.
Our engineer tonight, Andrew Rotundo, bringing us that last instant replay. Of course, we thank our entire crew with us each and every week. As we mentioned before, we actually didn't put up our upcoming broadcast, so we'll do that after this drive. But we are in Granny Road Park next week. We're actually in Granny Road Park each of the next 2 weeks. We see the Legion face the Demon Knights. After that, this Bears team travels to Granny Road to face the Demon Knights.
Correction, Joe. The ball is now spotted at the 26-yard line, so it's 3rd and long because of it. So that doesn't negate the down. It does. They still lose yardage either way.
3rd and very long. Mears forced to scramble. The ball is out. It's picked up by Stukes Williams. He has limited blocking in front of him, and the Bears rally to make the tackle all the way back at about the 17-yard line of Cumberland. So this is going to be a 4th down and very long, and we'll see if the Cobras elect to go for this.
Well, it's in his name, Joe. He's going to need some magic on this one on a very 4th and long to give Cumberland any hope, but this is a very tough conversion for them to have.
And it appears that Cumberland is bringing the quarterback to the sideline. They're going to punt it, and on 4th and 29, I'm not sure you have much of a choice.
Yep.
See if they have any trickery. As now it looks like Mears is headed back onto the field. So we'll see if perhaps they change their mind. A lot of time has passed.
They're having Mears set up as a blocker.
Okay, so they are going to punt it. Jackson has been the punter and the kickoff specialist tonight, and he is lined up behind the line of scrimmage, getting set to boot this one away. Low snap, and the punt is sent right into the arms of a Bear, and Nigel Swift will take it in for a touchdown.
I don't mean to laugh, but I cannot believe what I just saw there.
Does that go down as a punt return touchdown?
I think you have to count that as a punt return. That
might be the shortest punt that I've ever seen end up in the hands of a return man.
And you can't really blame the punter in the spot because it was a low snap, and he just tried to kick it away. But that's realistically one of those right place, right time moments for the Bears, and they took advantage of it, and they increased their lead now 30-6.
Well, you said it. There was nothing that Hunter could do, nothing Jackson could do. Swift returned that kick
and Joe,
for a touchdown.
You see how they're lining up? I think that might be the game. And that's
the final play of the game.
Well, that's a very interesting end of the game for
a bit of an unexpected end.
Very unexpected, yeah.
But out of courtesy for our camera operator braving the elements, we'll wrap this one up quickly. Andrew, let's throw up our upcoming broadcasts as we have a lot more to come here on the PDF Sports Network in the coming week. We have next on the docket U.S. Premier Hockey League NCDC action on October 11th, if I'm not mistaken. The Jersey Hitmen visit Rockets Hockey Club. We'll try and cover that game for the second time this season as we covered Hitmen Rockets on opening night. That game is carried exclusively on Flow Hockey. However, Flow Hockey was having a lot of technical issues on opening night. That prevented us from covering that game as we would have liked. We're going to try again on October 11th. 1 week from tonight, we're at Granny Road Park, where the Legion will take on the Demon Knights, and then the Hershey Cubs visit Rockets Hockey Club. That rounds out our upcoming schedule. That U.S. Premier Hockey League game is a Premier Division matchup, so be sure to check that game out on Flow Hockey, along with our NCDC hockey matchup coming up on the 11th. And until next time, this has been Joe Foreman alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona, our engineer, Andrew Rotundo, our camera operator, Pat Gilorenzo. Once again, our final score in this EFA XEFL crossover matchup, the New York Bears 30 and the Cumberland County Cobras 6. The Bears end it with a big punt return touchdown. They take the win by 24 points and improve to 6-0. Be sure to join us 1 week from tonight as we travel to Granny Road Park. The New York Legion meet the Empire State Demon Knights in an EFA matchup. That game, a big one, as those two teams will battle for second and third place in the standings. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.